Peace. Kofa, G.R.O.W.T.H podcast. Wake your glass up. What is going on, y'all? Happy Thursday. Happy Friday, Junior. Today is August 3rd, 2023, the year of our Lord. The time is now 7:30 p.m. Eastern in the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia. I appreciate you all being in here. This is G.R.O.W.T.H podcast, where we help men find a positive fuck it. Growth stands for gentlemen reaching our wealth through healing. I am your host, Kofa, Kofa, not coffee, not kufu, not kofi, or any variation thereof. Kofa rhymes with sofa. Easy to say, easy to spell. Thank you for all being in here. Go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause. Preliminary housekeeping as always. Y'all know how we do it over here. Take your shoes off when you come in my house. Hit the like button. It's free. New viewers, when you come in, make sure y'all hit that like button. That's the only rule I got other than general respect. But make sure you hit that like button and take your shoes off when you come in the house. Hit that like button for me. New viewers, again, if you're here, I want you to hit the subscribe button. If I have to earn your subscription, that's cool. I'm going to continue to cook and work. So you might as well go ahead and hit it now. So hit the like and subscribe button. I want you to also share this content on your social medias. That's just a couple of clicks. Go ahead and put it on Facebook or wherever else you want to share it on. Feel free. So push that out for me. Comment as well, because I like to engage with my chat. I'll get to y'all in a second. I hear y'all coming in. I appreciate everybody. What's the third thing? Oh, yeah, the biggest thing. Take it offline. Have these discussions. Have these talks, especially with something like tonight. I want you to have these talks offline with your family, your friends, co-workers, so forth, and strangers and all that. In the barbershop, cigar lounges, all that jazz. Take these conversations offline when we put these phone downs, close these laptops, and move away from our electronics. Learn to engage with actual living, breathing people. I appreciate you all for being in here. Again, let me slide over here to the comments. Michael Fleming in the building. What's going on? Good, brother. I appreciate you being in here out there on the road. Uh-oh. Wrong button. There you go.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Salute to brother Cujo. Appreciate you being in
here. Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Mona D in the building. You know we rock with the sisters over here too.
You go, girl.
What's going on, sis? And salute to brother Malika.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Close this window real quick. Go ahead and come back over here to y'all. So tonight I'm bringing on, I guess, my first official guest. I can't wait till I actually get my house the way I want to, so I can actually have people come in. But tonight I'm bringing on the brother Dr. Curtis Jasper. So I met Dr. Kurt, as we call him, volunteering at Next Level Boys Academy here in the lovely city of Union City, Georgia, which is not Atlanta. It's 20 minutes outside of Atlanta. Give them their due. So salute to them. Salute to Gary Davis that started the program. So I met Kurt there. You know, we've had conversations. Everybody, you know, just a group of good brothers. I shared some of that content with y'all a couple of weeks ago. And then tonight I was like, man, I gotta give some more of a push for the brothers. So I wasn't sure what night I was going to do it. I was trying to go ahead and actually load up for next week, and I totally blanked. I forgot Kurt had did a TED talk. So excuse me, I went back and listened to Kurt's TED talk, and I was like, yeah, I got to reach out and see if I can get him on. I had told him a couple of months ago, hey, I'm working on just growing my channel, and I do want to get you on. And he was like, yeah, whenever you're ready, just holler at me. So I gave him a shout the other day. He said he was ready to come on. I shot him the link. Matter of fact, let me text him now, let him know I'm on. I told him to call in about 7:45 so I can get through this spiel. But let me shoot him a text real quick. And again, what's going on, DG? I appreciate you being in here, good brother. I thought I saw you slide in. Look, y'all been bouncing around YouTube streets all day, jumping from chat to chat. What's going on with you, Derek?
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
There we go. Let me tell you something. So I just text him. And one more thing. I can't spell. Typing too fast. All right. We should be good, y'all. So make sure he knew that was on, because things happen. So I'm probably just going to monologue. I kind of want to get into the video of him at Georgia Tech with the TED Talk. I'm going to claim it as fair use because I did pull it off of YouTube itself. I don't think there's anything wrong with the clip, but I wanted y'all to actually see a black male therapist speak about his journey. I wanted you guys to hear from him, because even in this red pill, manosphere, men-centric space, there's somewhat of a pushback against therapy. You got certain people that's saying, oh, it's a scam. Then you have other people saying, hey, therapy saved my life. And these are coming from black men. Same content usually, or roughly, but two different opposing positions as far as therapy is concerned. What's going on, Quiet Storm? What's going on, Dirt Boy? Salute to you, brother. Thank you for being in here. Peace to you and Quiet Storm. Quiet Storm sitting up there with that wrench.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
So it looked good on you, brother. I'm glad I was able to get that help and get you that wrench. So yeah, I'm kind of holding off. Just gonna monologue right now. Again, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, because once he comes in, I could just play the video and stop and all that, but I kind of want y'all to just hear from him actually. So if he doesn't get a chance to call in, which I'm sure he will because he's a man of his word and stuff like that, but I also understand sometimes things comes up. But with that said, as far as black male mental health goes, it's been a point of contention. You know, is therapy a scam? Did it help somebody else? Could it help you? It's not for everybody. How long have you been going? I'm a big proponent of it. I don't think you should just grow cement shoes and just sit there for years upon end. It's supposed to be something you go to recalibrate, readjust, figure some things out, get that non-biased, third party. And then you do have to watch and be cognizant enough, aware enough of your own personal story when you know whether or not you're connecting with your therapist, right? And that was some of the things that Kurt spoke about, and I want to flesh out tonight as well, because it's such a low percentage of black male therapists, first of all. But we always hear about how little there are black men that go to therapy. And truth be told, I'm going to be totally honest with y'all. I know more black men that have gone to therapy than I know black women. Tis what it is. A lot of people give me pushback and say no, because, black women are quick to tell us, y'all need to go get help. You need to figure your shit out. Unfortunately, in our community, a lot of times they can do no wrong. I'm not going to get on a rant or a rave tonight, but a lot of times in our black community, black women can do no wrong, especially if they're mothers. So they don't think, so I think there's subconsciously something planted in them where they don't think they can do any wrong. So there's no need for therapy a lot of times. So I've seen that. I've seen the strongest of the strongest men break the fuck down and go sit on somebody's couch and then break down again just to peel those layers. So I'm a big proponent of at least trying to go. You go, you figure your shit out. Yes, that would be the most man up thing that you could do. Hold on, let me slide over to y'all comments real quick. Quiet Storm says, thanks, brother Kofa. I appreciate you, good brother. Core Joe in the building. What's going on, bro?
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Broken Traditions also in the building, brother. Thank you for earlier.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Nah, bro, you're not late. You took a couple of minutes out to make sure this live was gonna go right. So I told y'all, man, I'm gonna pivot real quick while I'm waiting on Dr. Kurt to call in. So I had to make sure that my interview button was working right. So who'd I hit up? I hit up BT, hit up the most supportive troll on YouTube. So I hit up BT because he, we always try to help each other out, share a little information. And we just ended up, I think I got to go back and look at that recording, Broken Traditions. But we ended up talking like 30 minutes. I was like, bro, one day we just like not going to have to get on the phone. I'm going to call you on here and we just going to talk. And then we're going to chop it up respectfully, for each of our channels and just put it out. Because this is the type of shit we talk about, man. We talked a little bit about everything from damn relationships to IG to, YouTube of course, YouTube monetization, growing channels and stuff like that. But sometimes we just get to rolling. So I told him I got something for him. I'm not even going to tell him what it is. As the most supportive troll on YouTube, I'm not even going to tell him. And look, he's doing it now. He just dropped a $2 super sticker with an emoji, because again, he knows I can't see the emojis until later on. They don't come up on this particular program. So now I have to read the description. There goes the music. I mean, the money sound. I got to read the description when he drops a super sticker. Let me bring it back up. Damn, where'd it go? Hands doing a fist bump. All right, bro. Salute. That one was easy. Sometimes he hit me with a crazy ass stick and I'm reading this long ass paragraph. But for that $2, bro, you already know what it is.
These last $2.
I appreciate you being in here, BT. Look, Corey Joe already know the last $2, BT troll. Be trolling. Correct. That's what we're gonna start calling them. Be trolling. But yeah, again, this is another thing about brotherhood and homeboyship, if you will, is being able to call Broken Traditions earlier today and say, hey, I gotta hit you up later on. I'm gonna need something later on, just to give him a heads up. He's like, okay, oh cool, you know what I'm saying? Hit me up. So I waited because I had to get some rest. And then as soon as I sat at the computer, he didn't forget about me, even though it wasn't quote unquote his stuff to deal with. He hit me up, was like, hey, you gonna send a link so we could test it out? I was like, bruh, I just sat down at the computer. So love you for that, Broken Traditions. I appreciate you not forgetting about a brother. And we worked it out, and I think we're good to go. And y'all finna wear these damn $2 out. Hold on, let me there you go, Quiet Storm. I appreciate you, bro. Let me get the Derek comment real quick. DG says, my therapist is a white woman. I was in such bad shape. I took the first person that said they'll help me.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Let me try to start this comment so I can get back to it later on, DG, because that is actually something that Dr. Kurt spoke about in his TED Talk, was the struggle for a lot of black males finding therapists that were culturally competent. And I'm gonna let y'all tell his story of how he got into therapy. How therapy got him into being a therapist. So that's something he spoke about. Salute, Broken Traditions. Let me see. Let me go ahead and get to Quiet Storm's super chat real quick. Quiet Storm says, I just want the sound drop for $2. I got you, bro. You know it.
These last $2.
Mona says, wow, Derek. And a lot of times, Mona, you can share this with your husband or, your male friends, family, especially look for it in your sons. Hopefully we get a hold of this before they're old enough to, have to go to therapy. Hopefully they won't have to, but they'll choose to, just to recalibrate and sort some things out. But a lot of times, Mona, brothers will do that. The first person that says they'll help will take it, because we're so used to not getting it. We're so used to being told, man up, grow up, deal with it. You a man, ain't you? We so used to dealing with that shit that we don't go. It's crazy. I was playing a drop from some of the new drops I got, but y'all gonna recognize this one. Let me play it real quick. Stay with me. I promise you I'm going somewhere with it, but shout out to Good Times. Shout out to Florida. RIP to James. But y'all know on Good Times, that was the first time, and this was back in the 70s. What's going on, Auntie Sean? I already know what you want with that $2 super chat. I got you. Give me a second. There we go. Dr. Kurt calling in. So I'm going to pause it real quick. Dr. Kurt, I can see you, brother. Let me get to my interview real quick. And bring you on. Make sure we're good to go. Bam, there you go, brother. Can you hear me good?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. So
all right, let me make sure my phone is off so we can get to it, my brother.
Yeah, let me get the preliminaries out the way. So I tested it earlier with a friend. So if it glitches, We just gonna keep letting it run because of this weather and because it glitched earlier, but then it started catching up. I don't know. It's like an old Chevy. It had to warm up. So let me get to this super chat real quick. And then I'm going to introduce you. But Auntie Sean from the Shy, she dropped this. Auntie Sean is from Chicago too. Kurt, I don't know if y'all know each other. Probably know some of the same folks. But Auntie Sean from the Shy dropped this $2 super chat. She says, "You know what it is. Let's get it, Johnny." I got you, Auntie. Hold on. For that $2, you know what it is.
These last $2.
I appreciate you, Auntie. So y'all can go in on the chat. I'm not going to be able to get to everybody's chat tonight because we got a guest on. So I don't even know how to introduce this brother. I kind of gave them a preliminary. I told them we met, serving the community at Next Level Boys Academy. I'm going to let you tell your own story. We haven't played the video from the TED Talk. I was like, I could play it, but I really want I want them to understand that Black male therapists exist and how you got to become a therapist through therapy. So we just going to let the conversation flow. If y'all got questions, y'all drop them in the chat. I'll get as many as I can. Y'all already know I'm not shaking my 10 cup, but the super chat is going to take precedent if you have a legitimate question. So Kurt, I'm going to take one question that already came in, but I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, brother. Go ahead.
I appreciate you, Kofa, man. Since day one, me and you hit it off, man, serving the community. So I'm honored to be here. We've had many chats, and the things that we've shared publicly and personally have been in alignment. So thank you, brother. Yeah, man, I'm Kurt Jasper, born and raised in Chicago, been in Atlanta since 2000. Professionally, I serve as a psychologist in 3 parts. I do family, one-on-one, and couples therapy. I do consulting for corporations. Right. And I do public speaking, meaning I lend my voice and expertise to public forums like this. Personally, I'm a father of 4 and a grandfather of 1. I have 3 girls and a boy and a granddaughter. Nothing special about me, man. I'm just at a point in my life, man, where my personal health and wellness take precedence, and I'm making sure that I lead by example and get back to those I naturally resonate with.
I appreciate that, good brother. So that's more than I knew. I didn't know you had a grandbaby. I didn't know you was Papa Kurt. But
right.
But yeah, man, congratulations on all that, and congratulations on all your success, like you said, bro. And I got to let you tell them the shoe story. I love that story about you. You got to tell that shoe story. But
which
we'll get to that about why you're a shoe head. Because
okay.
Y'all see that, right? We in alignment. I just had to nudge the brother a little bit. But let me bring this up on the screen because Derek had just dropped this, and I had mentioned there's a lack of Black men in therapy, going to therapy, because there's a lack of Black men that are therapists. And I also shared, and I don't know the numbers, but me personally, I know more Black men that have actually gone to therapy than Black women, because culturally, from my point of view, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's so many times that Black women are in spaces of leadership in our community that a lot of them feel like they can't do any wrong, so a lot of them just don't go because they usually have some sort of an outlet, whether it's the church, they're more social than us. So over time, like just listening to men, I've noticed more Black men going to therapy than Black women actually going and sticking with it. That's what I've noticed. And I may be biased as a Black male, but I think the women have more of an outlet. Have you seen that? Where it's more Black men, Black women, or just, I know we all need to go more than we do culturally, but what have you seen through your years?
So I've seen an increase with Black males going, but there's been a steady flow of Black women.
Mm-hmm.
And Black women have been going for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
The question is not whether Black women are going more than Black men. The question is who's actually doing the real healing work and sticking it out, right? Because that's different. We got this trend about therapy and Black mental health, so lots of people are sticking their toe in it. But that's different, right? It's like going to college, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody I know that got some schooling, but everybody ain't finished and graduate, right?
Yeah.
And so we often start a lot just to say, hey, we in the game, we've done the work. The question is, can you tell your healing journey by way of a story where at the end you feeling good about your own progress?
Mm.
So statistically, there's about 4 or 5% of psychologists or mental health professionals as a whole who are Black, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of those are women, right? And so oftentimes, you got brothers saying like, I would go if I found someone who could speak to my listening. The women are going, but they're going to other women, right? So they're
Yeah.
sharing in a lot of commonality at the expense of being challenged. And I'm generally speaking, because I know some dope women going to therapy, and I know some dope Black women psychologists who really bring it. So these are just general statements. But to answer your question, Kofa, brothers are going. My wish, hope, and prayer is that they stay long enough and see it as an investment in their overall personal development.
Okay, because it was something, and that's a big fact. You're gonna hear some sound bites tonight. So when you preaching, you're gonna get one of these.
Got it! It's hotter than fish grease.
So
I ain't shocked.
So with that, because I was just talking about that as far as not using therapy as a crutch. Like you said, we'll go, and then what I called it was growing cement shoes. You'll just sit in therapy. And I don't know how many people are actually going to do the work, but I've seen that and heard that from other people too, where it's like, well, I've been in therapy 5 years. At some point, you're supposed to be getting some tools to kind of slide off. Like even for myself, I went for about 1.5 years, 2 years, pretty consistently. And once I got to that point where I could compartmentalize things, put things in perspective, now I still go, but it's more as like an oil change. I'm going to recalibrate, sort out things recently. So that's the way I use therapy as a tool. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that as far as people going, just like you said, just to go and not doing the work?
Right. So great question. There's a lot of different facets, right? Different things for different people, right? There's therapy, right? Which can be in the form of psychotherapy, where you really, really going and doing some intense healing work. And then there's counseling, where you're showing up in a therapy environment, but you and the practitioner are really counseling. Y'all co-creating this nurturing environment so that you can stay safe and supportive moving forward. So regularity, as you said, you can start off doing intense and do once a quarter. I got people I've been rocking with. They start off heavy like you. They check in with me a few times a year or a quarter. I'm always on standby, like their doctor and their accountant and their lawyer, things of that nature. So I often remind brothers that, like you said, Kofa, check in when things are even going well, because one of the things that we suffer from is the blind spots. You could be on the track killing it, and then something come out of nowhere. So get the support, right? Brothers write books, they travel out the country, they got new relationships, they getting older. They stop in like, Doc, let me just see if I'm tripping. Let me hear myself say it out loud, and you let me know if there's some blind spots or something that I'm missing.
Yeah.
That's the healthy relate. That's the counseling piece. We move from the therapeutic aspect to now we're counseling. Okay. And that's how we stay healthy, right?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Y'all make sure that y'all have some questions. I'm scrolling through, but this is one quick. Where did it go? Because y'all been in here in the chat cooking, man. Doc, I don't know if you got me up on YouTube as well, but there was a brother in here. There he goes. Found it. I don't know if you can see that on screen. Brother Derek. Shout out to Brother DG. He says, my therapist is a white woman. I was in such bad shape, I took the first person that said they'll help me. And I was saying that it's a lot of times as Black men, because we're so used to being, the cultural tropes and traits, man up, get over it. You'll be all right. You a man, ain't you? And it's so many times that we either don't get the help or even know where to go seek the help that, again, this brother DG, he said, my therapist is a white woman. And I wanted to speak to that because of what you spoke about in the TED Talk about your therapist or your counselor being culturally competent. So I'll let you, address that. It was just something interesting to me because it stood out to me because, like I said, sometimes we're flailing and that first hand to reach out and pull us back out the water we'll grab onto.
Yeah. So, and that's okay, right? I related Kofa to if you're in an emergency, you go to the emergency room, you take the first physician available, right? Right? You don't be in there with a gunshot wound to the neck talking about, give me a black surgeon or not, right?
Yeah.
So let's be clear, right? I'd rather you jump in there and
Mhm.
get the help you need just to get it going. Because what I know from being on this planet 52 years, contrast brings clarity. Sometimes you gotta check out what you don't want so you can be clear about what you do want and need. So for the brother, I commend you, right? Now the question becomes the staying, right? Is it serving you, right? I'm not, I'm black solidarity to the fullest, let's be clear. But I'm also open enough to know that find your person. Your number one determining factor in terms of your healing journey is finding your person, right? Finding your person. There's some black folks, right, that ain't culturally competent, depending on what culture they came up. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, right, they just not. So to the brother that said, I just dropped in the first one to help me. Yeah, it sounds like you needed intense help, and that's good. The question is, when you knew it wasn't working for you, did you make some movements? One of the things that people don't know, Coach, and I'll turn it back over in a second, is you have a right to speak up for yourself. Like, you have a right to challenge the therapist in the spirit of love. Like, am I missing something? And give them an opportunity. The best psychologists I know always refer out. Like, I got a colleague of mine. She like, I got a brother. I got to refer him to you. So that's when it becomes your client comes to you like, this ain't working for me. Cool, I got somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you get one of these.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Knocks down another 3-ball. This guy is hotter than fish grease here.
I love that.
Look, yeah, man. Like when you be preaching over here, I got to give it. Let me get to this stupid sticker. So the brother broken traditions. Don't pay him any attention. He is my greatest troll. This is my homeboy. But I tell him he's the most supportive troll on YouTube because he'll send stuff like this. It's a sticker that I can't see. It's a super sticker. But while I'm on this particular program, I can't see it. So I have to read the description, and he just wants me to read the description. So a hippo character smacks his hands onto his face and looks around to see if anyone saw what he just saw. He just wants me to read silly ass character shit like that just to fuck with me, but I ain't mad because he gave me $4. Appreciate you, good brother.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Let me see, and I do want to hear from the ladies. I know I got Auntie Sean from the Shy. Auntie, what side of town you on? Y'all might know some of the same folk. And Mona D, if y'all have any questions for the men in your lives, y'all drop them in the chat and let me know. Let me keep on going. I'm trying to get to some questions, Kurt, real quick. Make sure I didn't.
I'm here for the long haul.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Mona D says, yes, that's true. I'm a MSW and worked in mental health for many years, and I have opted out of being seen by black female therapists. That is interesting because, again, as Kurt just spoke to, you have to find your person. So when I went, I didn't know who I was looking for, but I just happened to, I guess, get it right for me on the first time out. It was an older woman that I felt comfortable with, and this might be a mommy issue thing where she reminded me of my mother in a good way, because my mama keep it a buck, but my mom is my mom, so went to therapy. But and the lady, she never, and we did work that relationship out, kind of as counseling, like you said, Kurt, where I knew certain times she was wearing the hat of the counselor, and certain times she put that mama hat on and basically had to get in my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like she had to, so it was certain things I had to accept, but that was subconsciously what I was looking for, was that, that third party honesty to make sure I did see those blind spots that you were just talking about. So that was interesting. Let me see. Y'all in here cooking in the chat. Look, let me get the Quiet Storm super chat. He says, Dr. Jasper, how long did it take to find the therapist? Was it the therapist could relate to your issues or something else? HIPAA, of course. And he drops a $5 super chat. So let me go ahead and hit him with this. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that up there. Let me bring it back up on the screen so you can see it again. It says, how long did it take for you to find the right therapist?
Well, first of all, man, I want to congratulate your fans and thank y'all, man, just supporting the brother on this journey, man. That's real important. So thank y'all on behalf of my brother Kofa. He's one of my favorite, man. That's really important. I'm impressed with that. All right, so he said, how long did it take? I went to 5 different therapists. I talk about it in my TED Talk. I went to 5 different therapists, 4 black and 1 white. And the 4 black ones, they didn't connect with me. But in retrospect, I get it now. I wasn't even open then, right? Mm-hmm. It was only until the 5th therapist, who was a middle-aged white guy, who challenged me to become a therapist, right?
I love that part of the story.
Yeah,
I love that.
He was like, be who you looking for. He was like, bruh, you ain't clinically depressed, you pissed, right? That's different, man. And he spoke to me as a black male, and he spoke to me from his outside experience. He said, I worked with black men for the last 30 years. I haven't been able to reach them at a level that's effective. I don't think the entire industry. But he challenged me. He was like, but I think you can. And he was like, and allow that to be your healing journey. So I continued to go to therapy, but I also got on the, like, okay, I'm going to get this for myself and dedicate a huge portion of my life for helping brothers, right? So to answer your question, it took 5 therapists for me. And it's over probably about 5 years, right? Yeah. So I still see a black woman now. So I see a therapist now.
And that was something I'm gonna piggyback off that in a sec. Well, I'm gonna camelback off that because I don't eat pork.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Had to give myself one on that. But let me bring up the second part of the question. He said, was it the therapist could relate to your issues or something else? So I think he just answered that, Quiet Storm, about the white guy seeing something and recognizing that, hey, I can't get you to where maybe you want to go, or even where he would want to get you as a therapist, right? But he recognized that, and him being cognizant of that and telling you to become who you needed. I just think that was an interesting take. Again, like you said, it took you 4 or 5 people. So after that, how long did it take? This is just my personal question. How long did it take for it to sink in, to be like, okay, I am getting ready to take this challenge, this journey, and go forward and actually stick with it to become who I needed and who I know other brothers may need?
Right. Good question. So to piggyback, the first 4 therapists, they were much too clinical. I didn't feel that they were hearing me as an individual. But after the 5th therapist, the white guy, 3 days later, it just downloaded to my spirit like he might be on to something. And at the time, I was assed out. Like I had lost it all at that point. I think I was standing with one of my partners in his basement. I had just given up. So I had nothing to lose. One of the things that I did enjoy was school. And I had dropped out of 2 previous doctoral programs. So when he said that, he asked me, he was like, so what kind of schooling you got? I was like, I got a master's and I've done, some terminal degree work. And he was like, okay, well, yeah. And so it was like, I was at the bottom, so I only had one way to go up, right? And so I just went back in, reapplied, and finished that. So he challenged me on a lot of different levels, but he challenged me in question form and not statement form.
Okay,
right?
Can you give an example of that?
Yeah,
that's an interesting take.
Correct. So what we don't understand for black males, unhealed ears don't hear well, right? We don't take directives when we unhealed. Right. So
hold on real quick, Kurt. Let me look at my chat. I hope y'all take notes. To all the brothers in the chat, especially, y'all make sure y'all take notes tonight. For real, just write something down because I'm getting ready to write that shit down. Unhealed ears don't hear well. My bad,
Correct.
brother. Go ahead. Yeah. I like to engage with my chat, let them know that I appreciate them and stuff like that. So yeah. But go ahead.
You know me, Kofa. Conversational style is the best form. Let the people get what they get, right? That's how we do it. Unhealed, and I know this from personal experience. Unhealed ears don't hear well. Too many filters up, so it don't land. Matter of fact, we put off by the fact that we don't feel good when the stimuli comes in. But in question form, we can sort of reflect. And so I do this thing with parents all the time, like stop firing off these directives and statements to these kids. Put your statement in question form and take what you get. And so he had that, right? And so, you know, my mother had that coming up, speaking to the mother wounds, right? My mother, instead, she realized that directives didn't work for me. And they didn't work for me because I didn't have my original authority figure in the house, which was my father. So I already had a built-in repellent that I don't take it from nobody. I'm my own man. I ain't listening to nobody. I ain't never listened to no man. I ain't gonna start with you. But my mother somehow was like, okay, so I'm tired of fighting with him. So let me put my statements in question for him, and then let me zip it and hear what he got to say. Because if I get how he thinking and feeling, I could be a step ahead of him and support him on that way. And that's what she did.
Yeah.
Right. So, for example, let me give you an example. When I used to come in past curfew as a teenager, my mom was like, do you have any idea why I'm requiring you to come in before 12 o'clock? She didn't say 12 o'clock, you can't come in. I was like, well, and we talked. And she was like, that ain't it, bro. She was like, do you know that the more you're out past 12 o'clock, the more you increase the likelihood of not making it home at all? I was like, oh, shit, that's different. All right. Nobody put it to me like that.
Shout out to mama. Shout out to mama.
Right. Go, girl. I'm thinking, you just trying to control me. I'm safe on these streets. I know how to maneuver, blah, blah, blah. You just trying to, you know, use your parental power and make me, She was like, So after that, we started making agreements. This is what I'm going to need you to do. Right. So to go back to how it works now, men take that on into their adulthood. Their partners can't tell them what to do, nobody. And so we get in a lot of trouble because our ears are unhealed, so we don't take in the stimuli without being in reactionary form.
Yeah, and I think I learned to the longer, because, you know, I had my daughter with me. So I started noticing that as well. I guess what your mom noticed with you. So I started just presenting little scenarios. So if X, Y, and Z happen, how are you going to respond? No answer. And that's the way I try to talk on here with my audience and stuff like that. And just in general, like because when you ask a question, it forces a response. It's just a human thing. Just even hearing a question, you're going to take a second. Even if you don't want to answer it, you're going to take a second and be like, well, what about, even if you want to argue back with the point, just because your brain heard a question, it starts to try to formulate an answer. And most people are going to be like, well, damn, I didn't see it that way. And because I've had people do that to me. So I was like, okay, I can learn through questioning, because now it forces me to go get the answer if I don't already have it. So I got to go research. And like you said, I like school too. So I guess we're one of them weirdos. Like, oh, you can sit still and actually read? Like, yeah. Let me get to this this next comment. What's going on, Mo? Hold on, let me holler at Mo. What's going on, Mo? You done snuck in the building, girl.
You go, girl.
Appreciate you being in here, sis. Y'all make sure y'all drop those questions. Auntie Sean did ask a question. She said, where is the good doctor located? I'd love to refer anyone needing help. Nephew knows knows there's no help for Auntie. He knows I'm crazy. Yes, Auntie, and I still got to get up to Chicago and get some pound cake. But I forgot to, I think you said it in your intro that you were down here in Atlanta. But do you do like any online counseling, therapy, anything like that?
Yeah. I'm able to provide services all over. And I do. So pull up, hit me up. In case you forget where to find me, a Google search will pull me up. But I'm right here in Atlanta, and I serve people all over.
Okay. Yeah. So you know you big when you don't even got to give an email or a phone number. You just say, Google me.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
But real talk, if you Google him, he's going to come up. Because I had forgot that I didn't, so I was like, damn, I don't got Kurt's email. But I'm like, man, I ain't going to bother him. I know he probably busy. So I Googled, all this stuff came up. And then that's how I pulled your picture for the thumbnail. I ain't going to ask him to send me all that. I can go pull that. So when I Googled you and then I hit images, ain't nothing but it's rare you find just images of somebody unless they're famous on Google, where it's literally just them. It might be another black guy over here, another black. No, it's just Kurt. So he that dude.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
So,
I love that. Everybody love that Mark Jackson one.
yeah, man.
Everybody, right?
I got to keep it going, man. ESPN to let them go, so I got to hold on to that
Right.
soundbite. Craziness, but that's another conversation. Let me get the DG's comment. Let me try to widen it. I don't know why it's so small, but Derek says I did have a black therapist. Both was women. One went to sleep on me. The other ate lunch during my session. For years, I just walked through life wanting it to end. I know why people delete themselves. And as I've told you, Derek, on the back end, me and you have had our personal conversations, all because I know your story. So everything that you went through, bruh, again, I'm not one of these, I got an iPhone, so I'm a licensed clinician all of a sudden. But you know we didn't have personal comments. Bruh, you still here. You still here. All that hell you done went through that you told me about, and the fact that you still here and you taking care of your daughter, you a bad motherfucker, bro.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Don't let nobody, including yourself, tell you no damn different. But I'll let Kurt comment on that as well.
So can you flash your question one more time, Kofa, please?
Yeah, it was more of a comment. And that was kind of. And Derek, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I was thinking about you when I wrote this question down for Kurt. I sent you the question in the email. We really haven't got to him. The conversation just flowing good, but I think this is a good segue to this. Define childhood trauma and triggers as an adult, because Derek, he's been through some stuff, from childhood even on into adulthood now. Just trying to find a balance, and a lot of it, from what he's told me, it stemmed from like a lot of family trauma. So he was saying that he had a therapist go to sleep on him. Another one was just eating during the session. He didn't have his person, like you said earlier. So he just walked through life wanting it to end because he's trying these tools and the tools don't seem to be working.
Correct.
So I'll let you address that statement, and then you can answer the childhood trauma triggers question, or however you want to do it.
Okay, so I want to start off, Derek, by saying I'm so sorry that they had that experience. Just generally hearing Kofa saying some of the things you went through with those two in particular, and I'm glad that you continue to go. In response to the average therapist, depending on their level, are overworked and underpaid, right? And I'm not defending them, right? So the average therapist got 10 sessions a day, right? And so, it's exhausted, right? And they don't get a lunch break. Right. They don't all get a lunch break, right? They on the school teacher level, right? Overworked and underpaid. So we hold them to a standard without understanding the backdrop, right? Now, if they did, in terms of the fall asleep, that's a whole different. But again, that goes to being overworked and underpaid, right? There is a level of personal stamina that you got to have to do this work. Mm-hmm. Right, it's very disrespectful to have, and I've heard people fall asleep again. Right, I've heard too, but that goes to following your people, finding your people. Like Kofa said, I'm on the internet so that you could know at least a high rate if I'm your person or not. Right, my ass is in the gym. Why? Because I cannot afford to be falling asleep on folks because I'm out of shape, overworked. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Like that. So the work to serve clients at a high level is me doing my work behind the screen, and unfortunately a lot of practitioners are not doing that. So I apologize for that experiences, and I'm glad you're still here and tuning in. The other part about childhood trauma, we all damaged during relationships, period.
regardless. Yeah, I want to clarify that it's not just like I say it all the time here, because you know my content, I can go in on the latest hard, but I point out a lot of times I'm not even talking about romantic relationships. You heard what Kurt just said. We're damaged through relationships, period. Like I said, it can be family, friends, your homeboys, of course, the romantic relationships, or even a parent to a child. Like me and my daughter, we just butted heads. A couple of months ago. We done worked it out since then, but I'm in that phase now. I share it with y'all, with the audience as well, Kurt. Like, I'm parenting an adult. She can really do what the fuck she want to do. I'm just giving guidance and counseling. And then, basically crossing my fingers, praying for the best for my baby, because that's still my baby, but she's an adult now. You know what I'm saying? Correct. So there are times over these last probably like 2 years, she hit 18, we get I'm grown. Like you were saying, with you and your mom, like, can't nobody tell me what to do. I've been my own man so she's kind of getting in that phase, but now 2 years later, she started to see, oh shit, daddy went crazy. Like,
Correct.
so I had to adjust, my approach. I couldn't just do the finger waving, started asking those questions, putting things in perspective. But I'm gonna throw it back to you, Kurt. But yeah, that's so again, y'all, it's not just romantic relationships. When we're talking about relationships, we're talking about people. So I'm gonna let you keep fleshing it out.
And to be clear, all of us are damaged. You can come from the greatest home possible. You can come 2 parents or no parents, right? All of us are damaged. There's work to be done. That's just the consequence of the previously lived experiences. No exceptions to that. What I think would be helpful is the difference between being triggered and re-traumatized, and we use them interchangeably, and they're not the same thing, right?
Oh yeah, flesh that out.
Right. So, triggers are things that we physically experience, right? In the mind or the body, preferably both, as a result of something that we went through, right? It comes in, somebody says or didn't say, and we immediately feel the tension and oftentimes react to that, right? But it's quick, right?
Yeah.
Because the trauma is stored in the body. Most people, it's the mind. The mind and the thoughts come later. The trigger happens in the body, right? So if you've been cursed out, bit by a dog, raped, punched and stuff, it's in the body. The tissue, the body, the nervous system responds first. Then you make sense, right? Good, bad, or indifferent in your mind, seconds, minutes, and sometimes hours later, right? So there's a difference between being triggered and re-traumatized. Triggered is the discomfort that comes up, which just indicates that you got more healing to do in that area. Re-traumatized is when you relive the experiences as if it's happening again in real time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for that clarity. Yeah. So from the I think we hit both of them, the childhood trauma and the triggers. But thank you for adding that in there about the re-traumatizing and clarifying, because we do often, especially on social media, folks going back and forth, oh, someone's triggered, and like I always say, I like y'all ass done got a damn iPhone and everybody a licensed clinician all of a sudden. Like we all done came from some walk of life, and I'm pretty good about being open to whatever somebody's been through. I give you respect for that because it's not my lived experience. It's your lived experience. I can't tell you what the hell you done actually went through. Like that, everybody, like you said, got
emotional damage.
At some point in time. At some point in time, we got it. So it's about finding your way, understanding your triggers. I think that's a big thing. If you could flesh that out some more, understanding your triggers. So would you suggest, I guess, avoiding certain situations, certain people, or is being triggered kind of a way, like you just said, showing you that you got more healing to do in that particular area? Like, how is a trigger a good thing? Can it be a good thing?
Right. Triggers are good because they're indicators, right? It's an emotional reaction. You get to choose a response, even though you feel an emotional reaction as a result of a trigger, right? So so it's nothing to hide behind. It's an indication, like, oh, okay, I still need it. Like if you're highly defensive, someone cannot give you constructive criticism because you're highly defensive. That's the time to be like, oh, okay. We naturally project because as human beings, we self-preserve first. So anytime a threat comes in, we naturally project. The question is, can you practice what's known as the pause? Somebody say something, you feel a trigger in your mind and your body. Can you chill for a second? Right? We usually make things worse because we don't pause for those 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Clap back,
3 seconds.
You heard me say that, right?
3
seconds. They pull the trigger. They call a woman a name. They road rage. They do a lot, and it's literally 3 seconds. What we need to know is the average trigger that has a heavy emotional response lasts in the body up to 90 seconds. It'll stay around longer once you add your thought engine to it. But if you just paused and felt it, like if you said something that I was unsettled with to me right now, Kofa, and I turned my voice off because I can't go through it with my voice on. I don't have to have my voice on to defend or prove to you that you threaten me. I'm just be like, oh, okay. I breathe through it because I got to make sure that Kofa really disrespect me, or am I triggered from a previous experience? And I'm like, okay, he said what he said. He has the right to say it. Oh, that's a trigger. I'm not being re-traumatized. I'm not even in immediate danger. I'm just mad because I don't feel bad. I don't feel good based on the shit he just said to me.
Yeah, that makes sense, and it's interesting. I want y'all to pay attention to the chat. He said that with the trigger, immediately after the trigger, you have a choice. What I always end with, y'all, you matter. You're not crazy. Make better choices. We all got a choice, and I had to get to that point of locking in on my choices because I was terrible at that because I was big on people pleasing. Like, if this is going to make the situation easier, cool, I can go this route because I'm just very nonchalant. It's very few things that I'm just like, I got to have this, has to be my way, like that. So I created a just bad habits out of that and made a lot of bad choices. Good intentions, but we know that saying about the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I was out there working overtime on that motherfucker.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
But once I realized that, then I had to start making better choices. That's everything I tell y'all. It's a reason why I tell y'all that, because I've personally gone through it. I told y'all I'm never going to give you any type of advice or bring anybody up here that I don't trust and believe can be of a benefit to y'all. Let me pivot real quick, Kurt. Let me get to these other super chats. BT from earlier, he said, "Unhealed ears don't listen well, don't hear well." Bars, and you already know $2 super chat.
These last $2.
Yeah, CTB in the building. What's going on, good brother? I appreciate you being in here. Let me keep on going. Logic and reason. Is it both of y'all tonight, or is it just the logic or just the reason? Salute from y'all. Salute to y'all from Texas as well. I thought I had another super chat. Yep. Oh yeah, Core Joe. Salute to you, brother. He says, dropped a $5 super chat. Says, thank you, Kofa, for your Thursday session. Salute. And salute to Dr. Kurt. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him on social media. Again, he that dude, so you can just Google him.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
And for that $5 Corey Joe, you already know what it is. Yes, I really appreciate y'all. Let me slide through a couple more questions. Let me see. Yeah. So, did any of the ladies? I know Auntie was in here, Mo was in here, and Mona. I think Mona might have hopped off. I think she going live tonight, y'all. Y'all let me know. Look, Auntie Sean says that's straight bars. So if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my chat. I got another screen over here, Kurt. Okay. So I'm listening to you and running my chat at the same time. I haven't got that big where I got an assistant yet. So
you're doing a hell of a job, man. I'm happy to be here, bro.
I appreciate you, man. I think they were having a conversation, but Mona had said, I'm into who is going to work with me, challenge me professionally, and put me to work on my own goals. So I know a lot of people have, I was talking about it earlier. I guess we can pivot to that now. I was talking about it earlier where, you know, just in this YouTube space, social media, just culturally, we have a issue. We have one side of the tracks where it's like, oh, therapy is a scam. And then you have the other side where it's like, well, shit, therapy saved my damn life. So how do you square that? And I know you may be biased as a therapist, but how do you square that just in general conversation with people? And have you gotten told that you're scamming as a therapist?
No.
Have you? Okay.
No, I haven't gotten told that I'm a scam as a professional. What I will say is, you know, it all depends, right? We could say that about the entire medical industrial complex, right? The medical thing is a scam until you got it right.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Had to go and give you that one.
Right. So when you the educational system is a scam, like, but when you got a bullet shot in your neck, you're in an emergency room. You're not preaching that it's a scam. You need somebody to save your life, right?
Yeah.
So to your point, like for some people it saved their life, and other people it just hadn't served them in a way that they only could process it as being a scam. But most people who preach about scams really feel guilty and shameful for themselves because they missed it, right? So they'll be trolling folks like, "Oh, he's a scam." You really upset for yourself because you missed it.
You missed the wave.
You missed it, right? Yeah, exactly, exactly, right? Like you had some indications it didn't resonate with you. You hung around longer than so. Two things that we kind of pay for: wrong choices and staying too long. Right? You can make a wrong choice, just don't stay too long, right?
Yeah.
And so when it comes to scams, that's how we view it. Like everything can be a scam. I look at all the schooling I got, right? I look at all the schooling I got and how much I pay for it, right? And in my mind, when I look about paying a student loan bill, I'm like, that's a scam. But when I work with people like y'all, the audience, I'm thinking, yeah, it has its place. My job is to make sure it's beneficial for me and cause no harm with it.
Okay. Yeah, and that's kind of like even this. I guess this is a good segue into this. Getting the super chats and things like that. It's weird for me because I've had these conversations and I've told people like I'm not a licensed clinician. I don't play one on TV, but I am a black man. And let me tell y'all something to the chat and to Kurt, because I had to steal one of yours. I don't even know if you remember when you said it. This was about a year or two ago. And you were saying when we was on our men's call on Next Level, and you were saying that all of us are professional black men because we've been black men our whole lives. And then I took it a step further. I was like, damn, and it always stayed with me. So I went and looked at, well, damn, what does it take to be a professional? Of course, 10,000 hours and all that shit. And I was like, okay, so roughly 10,000. I started really breaking it down. What's roughly 10,000 hours? Roughly 10,000 hours, y'all. And for the brothers or anybody else in the chat, but mainly, the brothers, 10,000 hours is like a year and a half. It's like a year and a half. I'm 41 years old. I got well over 10,000 hours, just like you, at being a black male in America. So when y'all hear me say you're a professional black man, and I end with my phrase, you're not crazy, you matter, make better choices, the professional black man piece, this is who I got that from. I don't even know if you remember saying that, Kurt, but it always stuck with me.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That's a good point. Yeah, man, it's brothers like you that really bring home. One of the best things I've always admired about you is you lead with your story, right? You'll pepper it in with some things you've researched and read, but you always lead with your story. You lead by saying, my foot is still in the game, and most of the stuff that you've overcome, on some level, you still in the midst of it, as we all are. Yeah. So that level of transparency about the things you've been through is what sets you apart. Right? You ain't up here, I just posted it today, you ain't preaching to us, you pleading with us. And that's an emotional appeal, right? You pleading like, bruh, I've been there, I've done that, and on some level, I'm still there. And that's how I work with black men, right? So when the clinicians don't register, it's because I can immediately tell who ain't really been through no work. Like, you highly skilled, you an expert, right? But you ain't really been through no work. Right? You still hide behind what I call the badges.
Yeah, the titles. Just like my mom is big on that. She's an evangelist, but she doesn't like being called an evangelist. As far as, because she was like, we are too title driven in the church, and AME, CME, everybody done broke down, and we done forgot about she'll go down her religious rant or whatever. I'll just watch her work and I'll be like, you wonder where I get it from. But yeah, she's big on that. So a lot of people, like you said, hide behind the badges. I've heard that term before in different ways. Like in the military, we'll say somebody get a certain rank and they want to fluff their feathers, type of thing. But again, like I always say to y'all in the chat, man, are you going to do the work? You got to do the work. Cause that work, that's the ugly part. And I noticed something culturally as black folks, it's just like we don't like the process. We'll have the vision of what we want. A lot of us will try to wait to get around people at the finish line that actually did the work. But the ugly part, we tend not to do that. That's why I be preaching to y'all in the chat, man. Do the boring shit. That sitting up late night reading papers, like even doing all this, tonight, like this took work. But it's still weird for me for people to donate to the channel and want to see it grow. But that does let me know I must be resonating with some brothers. So I am going to stay on that track and keep sharing my story. I told him the other night, Kurt, I was like, man, I done been on this public platform. Y'all done seen me laugh. Y'all done seen me pissed off. Y'all done seen me cry. One of my mentors died at the beginning of January. I didn't record for the whole month of January over here. It fucked me up because he went that quick. Found out he had cancer. He was in the hospital. He was gone in 2 weeks. Gone. And it fucked me up. So again, I needed to go back and recalibrate and just sit with it, understand it, accept it. Good brother. I mean, again, early 60s, mid 60s. So that's still relatively young to me, to me, because, a lot of time we get told we hit 40 as black men, we're supposed to have a foot in the grave, but I don't adhere to that shit. But let me get off my rant. Slide over to this other super chat. Logic and Reason. Salute to both of you. He says, ha. Oh, both of y'all there. Great points being made. Thank you. You got the $5 super chat. So let me hit you with. And EJ hopping in just to fuck with me. He says my last $2. Just want me to play it, but I got you just to fuck with me.
These last $2.
It was crazy, man. I was afraid to play that drop. I was like, man, don't nobody know country ass Johnny Taylor, man. I know I grew up on it, man. As soon as I dropped, man, it was like, oh, that's that JT. Sure. I was like, okay, bet. And matter of fact, Auntie Sean, just to pivot real quick, Kurt. Auntie Sean from the Shy, she said you said you was from the North Side, and her husband used to play in a blues band. So I don't know.
Cool.
And she hit it on the head, y'all. Y'all get the likes up. That's the only rule I got. When y'all come in here, take your shoes off when you come in my house, hit the like button. It's free. So yeah, salute to Auntie Sean. She's been a supporter for a long minute now. I really appreciate her. There go your super chat, EJ. It just popped up. I thought I saw a question. Oh, so Mo asked a good question about that, about the triggers. Mo asks, how can you pause if you don't know it's coming / happening?
Good question. Right. You don't pause before, like after, let it occur, and then practice the pause once you feel it or once you're experiencing it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's in present time, for example, right? Like there's nothing to prepare for it, because keep in mind that feelings or emotions are messengers, right? Mm-hmm. They are messengers. They are used to guide you towards or away from something, right? And so when you say, how can you pause if you don't know it's coming? No, you won't see it always coming, but you will know when it is there, right? Based on how you feel in your body and in your mind, right? And so at that point, you pause, right? The minute it comes, because you allow it to kind of settle in. We don't finish feelings and emotions. We hijack them. They come in and we do some things to keep from feeling them, but they don't go away. They still inside. So they're going to come back and revisit you. And that's when you blindside, right? If you pissed, you pissed. Own it, because you can't sublease, rent, Airbnb out something you don't already own. You have to own it. Yeah. Otherwise, you're scamming yourself emotionally, because you acting like you don't have a heavy feeling of emotions, right? I want to go back to something really quick, Kofa, hopefully to clarify this trigger thing. We are triggered in good ways as well. The industry, the means will have you thinking, oh, triggers is bad. Triggers are indicators that you need more healing. But they're also indicators that you may have had an unfinished desire or a strong desire. For example, you and I are fathers. When we see a baby, we get triggered like, oh, I remember when my baby was there. Or, hell no, I ain't carrying no diaper bags, though. Either way, it's a
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
Like 18, we like,
yeah, it's two sides of remember when. It's two
Yeah,
sides of remember when. I tell you, like
correct.
you be like, oh man, and then you be like, whew. So
Right.
yeah.
So if we get used to how triggers are, right, I teach how emotions work in the body and the mind, right? And I know you had a question on there, I think about stress or anxiety or no. So we'll talk further about that. But I just wanted to point out, like, there's some good triggers, right? There's
Yeah.
some good triggers. People they see some food, they trigger, right? You see something, you like, oh yeah, I remember, man, you smell a sweet potato pie, or in your case, a pound cake from auntie, you like, oh, I remember me. It
Yeah.
ain't the pound cake, it's 15 Thanksgivings ago,
Yeah.
right? That your mama had one, or your grandmama, or your own auntie. So
Yeah.
I just
And
want to clarify, triggers are your friend if you allow
yeah, and it's something. It's funny you mentioned that pound cake, bro. I cannot see a pecan pie and not think about my auntie.
them, for
And
sure.
she passed some years ago, and I haven't had a pecan pie like hers. Had some good ones, but she would make me, because I don't know. I like pecan pie. Nobody else in my family likes, so she would make me one just for me. Even if she
Yeah,
brought it like we were having something going on, she would make me a whole pie just for me because she know I like her pecan pie. So I
yeah.
can't not see that and not think about my auntie. Sad feeling, but happy feeling at the same time because I
Absolutely.
knew she took that time out for me. So that was real. So it's real personal to me. Pecan
Absolutely.
pie. Go figure.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. Good.
Yep.
Good.
Mo says, thank you for that question. DG says I have so many questions for him. DG, make sure you hit him up. I know we all do, bro. I really don't want to belabor the point. We already been on the hour, Kurt. I really don't want to hold you no more. And we probably might have to do this again if you're willing, because we could break it up into parts and I can have it a little bit more structured. I did just want to introduce you to this space because there's so many men on here that are giving advice, selling courses, selling books, which I don't have no problem with you if you're genuinely helping people, because I've had conversations with brothers who have YouTube channels that have helped me as well. But there still is nothing, in my personal opinion, like a licensed clinician like yourself who has been through it. I think I put it in the description. I don't know if you read it, but like when I told him last night when I was telling him, hey, I got a guest coming on. When I say this brother got it out the mud, he got it out the mud. So it's not just, hey, I went to school and now I'm coming out here and using, the recent, tropes and traits and lingo to get black men to come to therapy. Like you have a lived experience.
For sure.
Like you said, before we get out of here, y'all please don't drop any more. Well, you can drop the questions. I might have to save them for next time. But I do want you to hear this story. This is personal for Kofa. This is my question about the shoes. Tell them about the shoes. So for those that don't know, Kurt is a cold ass sneakerhead. And every time we see each other, I gotta look, hey man, what size them shoes is, bro? Like he always has some fresh ass shoes. So I just want you to share that short story of why shoes are so important to you, because he's a professional, right? So people that think he's supposed to walk around in hard bottoms all the time. I'll put Kurt's shoe collection up with anybody else you've seen with a hell of a shoe collection. You talking about a sneakerhead? Yeah, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, but tell them why, because I remember when I asked you why, and that shit was such a beautiful story. It always stayed with me. So in closing, can we share that story with them?
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me, man. Anytime we can rock out. When I agree to do something, man, I get it for the whole line. So I block out enough time in case it go over. I don't take these opportunities lightly. So thank you. So yeah, man, the sneakerhead is it's funny because I get that question all the time, right? So coming up in Chicago, raised by a single mom, obviously in the Michael Jordan era, and even before, right? We're talking the third largest metropolis in the country. Your gear was everything. Your footwear was everything. We called them gym shoes back then, right? But I've been in the South for a minute. And so my mother could not afford to keep my shoe game up, right? And I went to top schools, right? I grew up in the hood, but I went to top schools where their parents had the money to make sure that they was flossing way back when. And so I used to find fault in my mother for not having the financial means to provide me with shoes, right? And so when she passed, which was in 2010, I had been on sneakers since I was an adult. I promised myself that A, I ain't gonna never want for sneakers again. And for B, it's sort of a tribute and part of my healing and grieving process of not only thanking my mother, but acknowledging how much hell I used to put her through, as if she was perfectly withholding a bucket full
The
of
shoe money.
Right, like so. Part of me buying sneakers is to acknowledge from whence I came, to show thanks to my mom that you prepared me enough to buy all the sneakers I want when I want, right? And I still like to look fresh. So it's multifaceted into that, and it's also a way of just treating myself like, nah, I got on, I got on. I
Oh,
can't
you
see.
got to slide back a little bit. You
Yeah,
got the
I
phone.
got
Oh,
on
okay,
some.
look at him. Just pulled
Yeah.
them out the box. Them things
That's
bleach
it,
white.
right? So I went to a session. I did a home session with a family today. This how I go, right? I'm pulling up, and so it's just my way of taking care of myself, my self care, paying homage to my mom, staying fly because I am from the Chi, and really connecting with the clients. Black men, like, you come to my office in Midtown Atlanta or talk to me on the Zoom, I ain't gonna have no shirt and tie and jacket on unless you invite me out for dinner and require that. Otherwise, man, I'm going to first model how you can do you and still get through this healing journey and whatever you've been through. So that's my sneaker story. I probably got a couple hundred. I'm down to probably buying one a month now. I used to buy 3, 4, 5 a month. I probably get one a month. I post on social media, so my job is to never wear the same sneaker back to back. And
I
so
love that.
right. It's just my way of staying young, man, and staying fly. I got a lot of reasons. But what I can tell you is my kids and my nephews, they're not into sneakers like me.
Really?
Like I'm like I could take any of them sneakerhead. They'd be like, we're good. I'm like,
Weirdos.
I'm buying. They'd be like, nah, we good. I don't know.
That's crazy. Weird ass kids. Like, look, I'm trying. Do you know what I would? You know how many yards I used to cut? How many cars I washed to get this one pair? I'm about to get you to, man. But you know what? Keep the bread. That's another pair for you.
Exactly.
Let me slide over to these last few comments.
Okay.
Auntie Sean says, "Thank you, Dr. Curtis, for your light. For the light that you brought tonight. 100 with the fire emojis." Sister Mo says, "Thanks, Dr. Jasper. Great informational and positive live." Yes, ma'am. Smoke and talk. You charted the class. All good. What's going on in B more? But salute to y'all. Appreciate y'all being in here. Let me see. Just I'm not sure what you mean, Mo. You probably something we were just flowing with. But Mo says she just saw a Blackish episode saying the same thing. I'll think about the shoes. Yeah. But I just love that story, man. Cause I'm like, man, how do you keep up with all these shoes? And then when Kurt told me, I was like, damn, man. Like, I cried on the inside, bro. Like, I felt that shit, man. I was like, damn, man. Shout out to mama, man.
You go, girl.
Man, shout out to mama. Everybody speaking. I love when y'all talk to each other in the chat, man. I love when y'all pour into each other. Again, this is social media, so y'all keep being social with each other, keep being cordial, man. I had other questions too as well, Derek, but I'll save them for another time. I think we got into so much. Let me put one more pin. Let me give him one more question, Kurt.
Let's do it.
Can you define what is letting go? I'm trying to ask these questions in the context of where we are culturally. This brother right here, Broken Traditions, a great and informative live stream tonight, Kofa. He helped me so much with this YouTube channel and growing, and we just try to be a blessing to each other in these YouTube space. He's in Atlanta too, so I know him personally. We got to know each other over the last few months, but his channel is more geared toward where we are culturally, from a political standpoint to relationships and different things like that. So I tried to pose these questions culturally because it was something that he pointed out to me. I was like, you know what? Even with my content being what it is, male, female, dynamic, a lot of this stuff, it has become cultural. So when I asked that question, what is letting go? Can you answer that from a cultural standpoint? Because we always hear it's like, oh man, just let it go. But a lot of times the Black people will say things but don't provide the tools and the space to actually execute it. So if you can expound on that, what is letting go?
Right. So I'll do my best to give a few examples if we got time.
Mm-hmm.
So culturally speaking, letting I can tell you more about what it isn't, and then I'll bring it home. Right?
Okay.
Failing to let go is the cause for suffering. Right? It's literally holding on too tight where there's no other options. Right?
Okay.
Letting go allows possibilities. Right? The mental, emotional, and spiritual rationale behind failing to letting go is your inability to accept the past as it is. Right?
Okay.
It's your inability to accept the past, right? Holding on is your way of saying, I wish the past was different. Right? And we know it cannot be, right? So it goes into a few different facets, right? Culturally, we hold on. We think there is some merit in fighting and holding on for dear life as if those scars will make it differently. Trusting that letting go is just your way of releasing it and accepting the past as what it is. I'm not asking you to love it. I'm just asking you not to hate it, because hating is too strong of an emotional investment, and it'll cause you to become overwhelmed in terms of your emotional bandwidth, where you'll start downwardly spiraling. So in essence, from a cultural standpoint, in essence, letting go is your ability to say, I trust in who I am, and anything that happened or doesn't happen, I'm going to be okay. I don't have to be great or terrible, but I know I can start to rebuild when I'm in a state of okay. Your superpower is calmness, and it's hard to remain calm when you don't let go.
Usually a state of panic, and I noticed that with a lot of people. And people ask me, because I don't know why I've always been good at that. Like I know my flaws, but I know what I've been good at too. So I've been able to stay calm. I tell people all the time, I think I said it on here to y'all in the chat before, like big shit I can handle. It's the little things that bother the shit out of me, because it's like, this is so unnecessary. And that's when I tend to go off. And like, even with my mom, she's told people, like, I don't even know why you talking to him about that. He don't entertain foolishness. He done walked out the room and left me talking to myself. So you ain't got to open hell, because little things like that be like, all right, and I'll walk away or blow up. I don't know which one. I hate small little inconveniences. Big stuff, like I told y'all in the chat before, the aliens or zombies can come tomorrow. I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna figure that shit out, like somehow, some way. But I just wanted to just kind of touch base on that with letting go. Like I said, I sent you those 5 questions. I think we went a little bit deeper than what those 5 questions initially would have touched on as well. So I thank you for that, Kurt. I thank you for being on here with me, bro. I thank you for being who you are and sharing your story of how you got there. I'll drop the TED Talk link into the description of the video afterward for y'all in the chat, so y'all can go see it. Please go watch it. To me, I'm not gonna talk shit, but they did my brother a disservice. They only gave him 16 minutes, but he cooked in that 16 minutes.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Right.
Like, he cooked in that 16 minutes, but I would really like him to get a second time around with some of the 30-minute or hour clips I've seen of some other people, just to be fair. And I may be being a little bit biased as a black man and his brother's, friend and colleague, but I do want to see that. So TED Talk, if you're listening, we need a round 2 from Dr. Curtis Jasper. Your closing thoughts, again, tell people where they can find you at, and then we're gonna close out.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you for having me. Appreciate the audience participation. Check me out. I'm on Instagram as I am Dr. Kurt. I'm on Facebook and Twitter and the new threads as Dr. Curtis D. Jasper. A Google search, that number out there comes directly to me. Let's just stay in touch, man. It is my obligation to do. I've been known as the counselor for the culture, right? And that means that I'm I avail myself in platforms like this to share not only expertise, but a little bit of my story, and to honor brothers like you who are doing real work. You don't have to be You don't have to be an expert. There's too many enthusiasts and advocates who are posing as expert. Just be an enthusiast and an advocate. We'll still rock with you, right? You don't have to take out as much loans as me and write a dissertation for you to be helpful in this work, right?
Yeah.
You just don't, right? You just don't carve out your space. So I'm honored that you have this platform. I know who you are on a personal level, man. Congratulations on this. Let's do a part 2 or 3. You know, if my schedule allows it, I'm pulling up. So, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Part 2 and 3. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna let you out, man. I'm gonna definitely give you a heads up for another part 2. I'm gonna listen to the chat because they probably gonna be on me the next, couple of lives. Like when Dr. Kurt coming back. So we're gonna figure out a schedule because they really enjoyed it. I know DG. He said he really appreciate this. Yeah. So again, thank you. Look, sure. Mo says, "Wow, TED Talk."
You go, girl.
Slow down, Mo. Slow down. But yeah, I'm gonna drop that in the chat for y'all. Let me get off the live, and then I'll drop the not in the chat, but I'll drop the link in the description. Y'all can refresh, go back to the video, and then go watch the TED Talk. But again, Kurt, I'm gonna let you out of here, bro. I'm gonna put it back on me. I appreciate you being in here, and I will be in touch soon, brother. Thank you. I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Love you, bro. Stay strong. Keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Let it.
And bring it back on me, y'all. Now y'all gotta look at my ugly ass. I appreciate y'all being in here tonight, man. Salute to Dr. Kurt.
Hotter than fish grease.
He get one more.
Knocks down another 3-ball. This guy is hotter than fish grease here.
I know Dr. Kurt was in here cooking, man. I wish we would have got the numbers up a little bit higher. But again, that goes to the space when I'm cooking on these crazy ass women. Brothers, we got to get better. When we cooking on these women, or as Obsidian says, when we whoop that trick, it's a house full. Now I'm talking to the space of black male mental health, and we don't got the numbers there. So we still got a lot of internal work to do ourselves, brothers. If you can't hear this and be able to receive it, and the only thing you want to hear about is how crazy these women are, we know they batshit crazy. I keep telling the ladies, stop giving me ammo. We see it every day on social media, whether you're following a certain group of people or not, and you scrolling through your thread, you're going to see some insanity within the culture. But as men, iron sharpen iron. I told y'all what my purpose is. I'm trying to help you find a positive fuck it. Dr. Kurt spoke a lot to triggers tonight. He explained that and fleshed that out. Well, there's a difference between triggers, relive trauma, taking those 3 seconds within those, that feeling of being triggered, being able to assess and analyze. And guess what? Something we didn't flesh out, but this is Kofa talking. You got to practice that shit. It's not going to come overnight. The next you trigger tomorrow, and just because we had this live tonight, I'm not expecting you to sit there 1, 2, 3 and be cool, calm, collected. No, you got to practice it, because guess what? I had to practice it. That's why I told y'all about the crazy ex. I told y'all I was never cussed out so politely in my life. She said some of the harshest, cruelest. This isn't me being soft and a simp and all. She said some of the harshest, cruelest shit I've ever heard from anybody. Not just addressed to me. It could be my own worst enemy. And I kept my cool, calm composure that night. That's why I'm sitting here right now. If I reacted the way that I know she was trying to get me to react, we wouldn't be here on Growth Talk. So I know I'm doing the work. So salute to Dr. Kurt for recognizing that in me, that I'm not afraid to share my story. And I told y'all done seen me laugh, get mad, cry, raise hell, all that. Y'all done seen a gamut of emotions from me, because I am a human being, and men get to have emotions. It's about how we handle them, just like Kurt was speaking to the triggers. Let me get to some of y'all comments, then we're going to slide up out of here. Broker Tradition says, I let go too easily. I'm going to write that down because I want to touch on that too next time Kurt is in the building. Let go too easily. And I'm sorry I couldn't get to everybody's comment. Again, y'all see how much wisdom that brother had and how much expertise he had. So I did want to just let him run, man. I just wanted to have, and these are the conversations the conversation me and him just had. That's how we talk when we do talk, when we see each other. But he's busy. I got busy with the channel, but that goes to the brotherhood that I'm speaking about. I could still reach out to him, and he like, hey, if my schedule permit, I'm there, and he's here. And I hit him up months ago. Was like, man, I'm growing the channel. I want to start bringing on guests. When I reached out, he came through. Let me see. BT said, if y'all haven't noticed, Kofa been live every day this month. Press 1 if Kofa should continue to go live the rest of the month, BT.
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid.
Your ass trying to burn me out, bro. But I have been live. You know, the first was on Tuesday when we had that glitch. And then did go live yesterday to make up for Tuesday. And I'm live tonight at the regular time. So BT is the only one to hit 1. Thank you, everybody. Don't be supporting Broken Traditions trolling ass. Again, the most supportive troll on Instagram. I mean, on YouTube. Lord have mercy. Yeah, look him up. That's Dr. Curtis with a C, Jasper. So if you Google him, you'll find him. Salute the Big Smooth. What's going on, bro? We getting ready to get up out this thing. Mo says, like I said, negativity sells. It does. Mo says, oh, sorry, that is domestic abuse too. It is. And I had to compartmentalize it. I had to consider the source. I had to know where it was coming from. Let me do this real quick because I missed somebody last night. I don't know if he's in here, and I hate when I do that. So shout out to, damn it, man. Somebody did hit the cash up. Give me a second, y'all. Get this thing right. There we go. Salute to Malika, brother. Thank you for the $5 cash app. Let me go ahead and hit you with it. And brother Greg Wilson, he hit me Friday and yesterday during the live. I did not realize it, Greg. I appreciate it. I got to get better at looking at these cash apps before I get out of here. So Greg, for those 2 5s, you get. For the 2 5s, you get 2 5s. So that equal 10. Appreciate you, good brother. Greg Wilson, appreciate you. Malika, you already know what it is. Again, brother, I'm going to be on you about starting up that YouTube. I just got that gut feeling that you got a lot of wisdom over there, bro. And I know you probably done jotted down some notes over the years. No, Eric Jordan, I am not going live every day in May.
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid.
Y'all killing me, man.
Damn.
Man, let me get up out of this thing. I'm glad y'all enjoyed Dr. Kurt tonight. He is a solid brother. Do go Google him. As he said, that number that comes up, it goes directly to him. He's a solid brother putting in a lot of work. He's doing a lot, including, slicing out some time to come on here with us tonight. So please be patient with him if he doesn't get right back with you. Nudge him again. Give him some time. Be respectful of his time because the brother is putting in work. I thank you all for being in here. We getting ready to get up out of here. Once again, this has been Growth Talk Podcast, where we help men find a positive fuck it. Growth stands for gentlemen reaching our wealth through healing. I am your host, Kofa, Kofa, not coffee, not kufu, not Kofi, or any variation thereof. Kofa rhymes with sofa, easy to say, easy to spell. I will see y'all Tuesday for sure. Again, for new viewers and subscribers, I go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. I'm in the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia. That's when I go live, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I might drop something over the weekend. I can't promise y'all that because got to play G.R.O.W.T.H.
Got it! It's hotter than fish grease.
Got to throw on my uniform this weekend and put in that work. So I may not see y'all. If I do, it's probably going to be Sunday for some quick just to tap on and talk shit about. Again, man, I can't thank y'all enough. Thank you for the super chats, super stickers, any type of donation you give him, Cash App, PayPal. Thank you. Yeah, man, salute to everybody. As always, brothers, you matter. You're not crazy. Make better choices. Peace.